know what retouch is. That said retouch on. It don't even give me my filters no more. Whatever. So since I'm gonna leave this on this channel, I'm gonna go ahead and do my um intro. What it is, you guys, it is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping, because you gotta hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I'm coming through today. What is it? August 29th, girl. I am tired. I am so my body has been going, every now and then Cadillac crash and I'll be going to bed. Like that was me today. I went home yesterday after work. I was supposed to babysit my grandchildren, but my daughter was like, she was tired because we had a little event at work, whatever. So we both were tired, but usually I fight my tired. I fight it. I be having stuff to do, girl. So I was going to get up and finish my drawing for KK. I was really finna finish it since my daughter said, don't worry about watching the kids. I'm tired. So I'm like, okay, but I'm going to take me a little nap like an hour nap to refresh. And girl, I didn't get up to this morning. Girl, I got up, let my sister get ready because I'm caregiver to my sister, got myself ready. And guess what? I was going back to bed. I'm thinking I'm finna have a good time to do the drawing and to do the story time and all of that, but no. So now I got about 20 minutes to hit y'all with part 2 of this story time, basically inspired after watching Miss KK from Set Apart to Serve, talking about the issues that go on at work. Okay, now for me, I have been dealing with that narcissistic spirit within my family, within my friendships, and within my work ships with my colleagues and stuff. It's like that spirit. The narcissistic spirit is basically that spirit that only cares about self and does not figure how they affect the situation. They're only in it to boast their ego of themselves, and they're to cater to themselves, and they want you to cater to them as well. That horrible, nasty, disgusting spirit has been in my life in many different ways, and I am in that point in my life where I'm no longer it's we I'm good. I don't need that type of, I need reciprocity. I'm not a person that comes and takes and takes and takes, but you're not going to take and take and take and take from me, right? So that has been on almost every job where you come in and you do the best you can, you go above and beyond, and then you always have the slackers, you have the group of slackers. Usually the slackers outnumber the good workers, right? And they are usually the ones that are applauded. They're the ones that are promoted. They are the ones that are basically have the shift go the way they want it, right? And of course, their spirit is okay with that, no matter what it is doing to you. So I am currently in this situation. I think most of my workship, I have been in this situation. I started working at 17. I am 43. So this is years of this, right? On almost every job location I've been to. Okay, so I work at a theme park. Basically, I told y'all in the last video a lot about that narcissism. I love that word though because the system is narcissistic. So narcissism. But that narcissistic spirit on my last job at Wally World, basically where I got hurt on my day off. Like, girl, I was finna go see Ice Cube, but I seen Ice Cubes, but they was at the hospital. They wasn't on the stage like I thought I was gonna see. Girl, I seen ice cubes. And after that slip and fall, I got up, and these folks proceeded to just write me up till it was almost time for me to be booted out. And since I had done worked there for 11 years, I was like, I better get my tail up and find something before they get rid of me, right? So I end up at a theme park, and I'm like, I'm way too old to be at a theme park. This is a temporary job, right? So I'll go back and tell you some of the little issues about working at the theme park, because I've had the same thing. So once I came to the theme park, I was disabled by carpal tunnel. I had just started losing my eyesight. I have something called keratoconus. It's a rare eye disease where my cornea is rupturing. This eye is going to be, I don't see nothing but watercolors and lights and stuff like that. So all of my vision, which is still reduced, comes off of this one eye right here, which is also to the point where I need a cornea transplant, right? But I have not lined up with the fact that I need a cornea transplant. So right now we still working off that eye that's going to be it, right? Okay, so I had those issues, and then my back issues from the slip and fall started setting in, which are arthritis, herniated disc, pinched nerves. So it's difficult. I used to work in the carts, when you go to them theme parks and they got them little turkey legs, and just wrapping the turkey leg in that little paper, that used to hurt. The churros, constantly wrapping them in that paper, that would hurt. Counting all that money that they make off them turkey legs and such, that used to hurt. It was like, oh my gosh, what can I do that doesn't hurt? And at this time, I had a 12-year-old daughter that I still had to raise. So I could not just go ahead and sit on my butt nowhere, because I still had to take care of her. I had my husband who's wrongfully incarcerated. I was still pounding the pavement trying to find somebody at that time, that would break his case so that I can get him home, so I can get some support in the house, so I won't have to be father and mother, right? Well, my daughter did grow up with her father, but through prison visits all over the backwoods of Florida. Girl, we done been all over following this man around Florida, girl. And very expensive phone calls, right? But physically, I had to take on the responsibilities of father and responsibilities of mother. And I was a student trying to go to school because I wanted to be a graphic designer. And I was like, girl, it's now or never, because we running out of time. So I was in a full-time student. Well, maybe like a year after going to the theme park. So it was difficult. My life was crammed. My life was I was struggling in school, being disabled, a disabled student, and I was struggling at work, being a disabled worker. During that time, so I worked at the concession stand. Then I went to a restaurant. It was an animated restaurant. And in that restaurant, girl, I was the worker. Like, though I was having issues, it always seemed like when I would bring my issues, my health issues of how I can't do this certain position, I would always get that, but there's no one else. That would kind of be what I get. That's a whole story time. I'm gonna come back to that. Um, so finally it made me scared, because I had so many disabilities that affected my what I could and couldn't do, that once I found a position, like, I'm in pain all the time, every day there's pain, but it's levels to pain. If you know anybody that deals with chronic pain, there's levels. There's that pain that, oh girl, I'm just gonna ignore it because it ain't hurting as bad as it used to hurt, or as bad as it could hurt. We're gonna ignore that like it's not even happening. We're gonna do this in spite of. Or it's that pain that I don't care how you think you finna ignore it. This is not finna be ignored. These hands finna be gone to bed. Your back finna be gone to bed. You ain't finna do nothing. So there's levels. So most likely any amount of doing anything is going to cause me pain. But it's the amount of pain. Like, is it the pain that I can ignore, or is it the pain that I cannot, fight through. So when I find something that I can do that, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not causing me that excruciating pain, I tend to just stay there, no matter what is happening on the job. No matter what's happening on the job, because I'm very fearful that if I leave in search of something else, I'm going to find something worse rather than something better. So I was in that cartoon themed restaurant for a good possibly 3 years. I'm not actually counting at this moment. Um, let's see, I came to the theme park at 2013. I transferred there in 2014. I believe yeah, it's about that long because I think I stayed there to 2017 or 18-ish, somewhere around there. It might be 18, where there was posting. So this is a big theme park, and they do internal postings for different job locations, because every time you transfer within that company, I promise you, it feels like a whole different job. That's how you could stay at that company for so long. And it's not the same as if you stay at the way I stayed at Wally World for 11 years. It's not like that. It's not like transferring from the cars department to the cashier you still feel like you're in Wally World. No, it's not that. You actually feel like you're doing something completely different. And my goal when I went to that theme park was that I was going to be an artist at the theme park. Not knowing that when I did go and apply for art, and I brought my sketchbook, and they was like, well, you're going to be a cashier because you have cashier experience. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to. If I done already got fired from my career at Wally World, why would I want to start over doing the same thing? Like, if I'm at the bottom, if I had to start over, this time I want to do what I want to do, right? But that's not what happened. They brought me in as a cashier, and I already kind of had the issues with cashiering at Walmart. But I don't know. I got around that. It was workarounds. I was trying, I don't know. I fought through it, right? If it, like I said, if it's that level that I can fight through that pain, or that level that, girl, I can't do nothing of the such. Okay, so one day there was a posting to work in the laundry facility that was opening, and it was going to be the best state of the art laundry room. It was going to be perfect. So I put that fear down. I already had visions in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, should I even apply for this? I know it's going to be something that's going to be like too much for me to do, and I'm going to be screaming and crying or whatever. But I was like, I got to put that fear to the side, because how could I ever move ahead? What if it is better? I got to stop looking at what if it's worse? What if it's better? What if it's better? So I applied, and it was decent at first because we started out with a very small facility, very small team, and I could keep up with the work. Okay, what happened was in the middle of it, we were actually hired for that big facility about to open. And when the big facility opened, that's when it became like that situation where, like I told you before, you have those that come and just chit chat, you got those at work. So I hate to say it, but what ended up happening was the black people were the ones that worked, and the Hispanic people were the ones that chit chat. Not all, it's never every single one, but for the most part, it was the Hispanic people that chit chat, that was laughing and talking and speaking in Spanish, um, kind of excluding us. And then we're just hanging clothes, we're doing this, we're doing that, and they're just laughing, talking, having good old times. It was one girl that they never noticed that she would be gone for hours. Like, you literally left after the shift meeting and you ain't come back until like it's almost lunchtime, like, and they never noticed. They never noticed. But for me, because I did the clothes differently, I had to do it differently because I have certain issues. So there was this thing where you put the clothes that you wash on this new conveyor belt. We didn't have a conveyor belt at the little location. We had a rack. You fill the clothes on the rack, and what I would do is I would hang them on my buggy, and then when I get enough, I'd hang them on the rack, and then we transport them to where they go. Now, when the conveyor belt was introduced, it became when you take the clothes out the buggy, you need to quickly put them on the hook. So it became this. That's repetitive motion. So the way that I was doing it before, kind of in front of myself and then hanging them together, that didn't cause me repetitive motion, because once I got a good group of clothes together, I would hang them. So for me, I'm very innovative in my mind. That is just what the gifts that God gave me to revert, regroup, figure something else out, how to work around this. So that conveyor belt started to hurt my arm, my carpal tunnel, and all of that, because I have issues with repetitive motion. I don't have the best blood flow since I have the pinched nerves and stuff like that. So what I started doing was putting the clothes together. They said that the conveyor, each hole in the conveyor belt could hold 2 garments per hole. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna hang them 2 at a time. That'll at least cut in half my hanging. So I put the thing, and then 2 together, hang it. Put the thing, 2 together, hang it. And everyone at the job seen that I was hanging clothes 2 by 2, and they were hanging clothes 1 by 1, and they were hating. They were mad. Like, why is she hanging it 2 by 2? She's getting the belt stuck. Blah 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 blah. She's causing this. She's causing that. While they talking, laughing, going off to the back, playing in the break room, all of that. But I'm actually here working, and I'm hanging faster than you. I'm getting more buggies accomplished than you. But you're talking about me, and you're going to the manager. So she went to the manager. The manager pulled me to the side, said, some of y'all team workers say that you're causing this, and you keep causing the belt to get stuck, and you keep hanging them 2 by 2. And I said, well, every time that belt gets stuck, I got common sense. Like, literally, I have wisdom. I look up there. Is that something I hung? No, that's not nothing I hung, so I don't have to worry about it. Every time the belt got stuck, it was not my garments, but they wanted to say that it was me because I'm hanging 2 by 2. Never asking me, Keita, why do you hang 2 by 2? I would have gladly told them, oh, I have issues in my wrists, my arms, I have limited ability. So to cut back on that repetitive motion, I hang them 2 by 2. Now, when the manager did pull me to the side and tried to talk to me about the complaints of the workers, I told her that, and she's like, oh, okay, you're good. And that was it. But they were mad because she never stopped me from doing it. She never stopped me because I wasn't causing an issue. And I wasn't, it was crazy. But there's another part to that, where the person that was there within the little facility with us just got those, you know how when you get promoted, most people get promoted, get that big old head, and they think that they are, way high and mighty. And I never felt like because you're in a higher position than me that you're better than me. It's just me and you are on 2 different, like, I want to be an artist. I'm not trying to be a manager. I don't desire to be management. So I don't feel like just because you went the management route, you're better than me, and I'm beneath you. I don't feel that way. But they want you to feel that way, right? So there's a whole nother story time about that situation. But end up one day, I was hanging them clothes and I was in pain. I had to, at that time, I would have to take, once I went in and did my work, I would have to take a couple days to recuperate, to get the swelling to go down, to get the numbness to stop, to start getting my blood back to flow. So I would be able to work good, but I would have to take days of rest in between, because I was really working my body. I was working so hard, and they didn't know it, but people, when they don't know stuff, they just talk behind your back. talk. They don't come and ask you what's wrong. They don't come ask you, I didn't feel like it was a problem because I performed to the highest of my ability 3 days a week. And because I had the medical documentation to be able to take those rest days, what does it concern you? I'm legal, is being done within legal realms. Why does this bother you? I'm here to work the heck out of these clothes 3 days a week. I'm here 3 days a week. Why are you worrying about the days I'm not here? You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. But people cannot mind their business. They mind your business, right? Rather than their own businesses, and rather than making sure that they are actually working up to par. So one day I went home and I was in pain and I was crying and I was like, you know what? I literally can't do this no more. I'm in too much pain. No matter how good I do, people talking behind my back is making it feel like I don't do anything, whatever. So, and I said, well, there's got to be easier places. But by this time, 2017, if I went there mid 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I stayed 4 years. 3 to 4 years in that facility, in that location, and I did some good work. Like I got, man, all the managers just love me, and this is everywhere I go. They love me. They love my work ethic. They love it. So I was like, I had pulled my back. I was pulling the clothes out the buggy. So for me, I can easily pull my back. Like if I move the wrong way, if I've been to tie my shoes sometime and I don't do it, I don't ease into that position. When I'm in the shower and I try to wash my shoulder, I pull my back and I have it pulled for, like, when you pull a muscle, it could be a good 2 to 3 days. One time I had my pulled muscle end up staying with me for 2 weeks, and then you can barely move again. So I had pulled a muscle and I ended up on leave of absence. And I kept telling myself that's when I really got into 2021. I really got into YouTube. I had came back to YouTube and I said, you know what? Maybe this is all God. I'm finna be that artist that create that content creator, and I'm not going back to work. That was my goal, to not have to go back to work. I just kept working on my content and this and that. I worked on my husband's case a lot. That's when I did a lot of investigation material on his case. That's when I got his case submitted to the Conviction Integrity Unit, which we don't even have the same state attorney anymore. So I don't even know where his case is with that. But I got a lot done. But it came that my channel never got monetized. I never was able to get my graphic design business off the ground. So I never made money in spite of working. So I had to return back to work, right? Outside of working is what I meant. Outside of working, I've never been able to make enough to basically take care of my bills and take care of myself. So that was always the goal, to wean myself out of this job where I'm being abused, where I'm being, well, basically not being abused like by the co-workers and stuff. It's not the job that's causing the abuse, it's the co-workers, and the co-workers not really fully knowing the full story, but just always wanting to talk about people. Like, you don't know what people are going through. You really don't know. But they don't care either. They just talk and they barely listen, right? Okay, so when I came back, I had the option. The people in the office was like, you could go back to your laundry location, or we can find you a location. But if we don't find you a location, then I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to part ways with you in this company. And I'm like, I just worked here for all these years. I can't go back to that laundry room. But if you don't find me something, it's bye-bye, because my back hurt. So I had to take a leap of faith. I knew I could not go back to that. I had already did 4 years. I was tired of the hurting, and in between not really being able to, because it also affects my art, my hands, that the energy that I use at work comes home sometimes and I can't pick up my pencil because My fingers are numb. My fingers are numb right now on the tips. So it's times it affects my art, right? And I just got tired of that. So I'm like, I cannot go back to the laundry room. But I'm just gonna, and if they don't find me nothing, it's bye bye. I'm back to square one, starting over again. And I had been there, what, how long had I been with the company at that time? 5 years, somewhere around there. So I said, okay, well, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I braced myself. I prayed and I was, just prepared for whatever would happen, right? And that's when they called me one day and they said, we found you a location that should be a lot easier with your repetitive motions and things like that. They're going to be able to accommodate you. And this is how I end up in my location now. I got to run to work, so I'm going to have to finish this story after. But yeah, it. I'm still dealing with some issues there, right? And okay, I'll talk to you guys after. It's your girl Cadillac.